Hello everyone, my name is Shane Wallen and I'm here today to talk to you about my startup company, Willow Pest Management. Essentially what Willow Pest Management is a service-based company that works to eliminate pests for farmers and ranchers on their land. The main areas we're going to tackle are noxious weeds, gophers, prairie dogs. Essentially we're going to spray, trap, poison, whatever it takes to get them off the land. This will allow farmers to recapture those native grasses upon their land and also make the fields more smooth, so reduce the wear and tear upon the equipment. Right now there's a need within the Red Willow County area just because no one else currently provides it. It's a big farming area and there's always going to be this pest, so you got to constantly maintain and constantly get on and work with them. The first thing we're going to look at today is some of the startup costs with the business. You got your main costs, equipment costs just over $14,000, computer, your building and utility costs. Those are going to start out at zero for the first year. We're going to work out a business, have one employee, work out of the home. Until we get more capital, we're going to start small and then work our way up. Basically, all the costs are about the same as you would see out of typically any other business there is. To get a more accurate picture of the total cost it's going to take, though, we're going to look at the variable and fixed. Things such as salaries, wages, maintenance, insurance, stuff like that. But basically the bottom line is right here, $39,500 is the total cost that we are looking to need. How are we going to get this money? We're going to start out by applying for small business loans within the local banks. Basically the interest rate is about 6%. We're looking to borrow about $45,000, enough to cover the cost plus a capital reserve. Here's just an amortization schedule. We're going to take it out over 8 years. The total cost of the loan, though, we're looking at about $57,000 with the interest in it. One of the things that we need to discuss is the pricing. After doing a survey, we discovered that rather than doing per acre, we're going to do it per hour, make it affordable for those with lots of pests and those with few pests. Essentially, we discovered that we're going to charge $35 an hour plus a 20% markup upon our chemicals and poison that we use. Just a closer look at some of the expenses we have. Payroll. Like I said earlier, start out one employee with a salary of $20,000. By year 3, we're looking at having some more part-time employees with a total cost to the business of $41,000 for payroll. More of the costs, just some of your depreciation expenses. The main equipment costs aren't large, but these are the main equipment pieces that we're going to have to depreciate. Your ATV, enclosed trailer, and computer equipment. ATV over 5 years, $1,800 per year, and these two over a depreciable life of 3 years. As we look into more business, we look at the income statement with your net sales, operating expenses, and net income. As you can see, in the first year, your net sales were about $64,000. By year 3, we can expect around $138,000, with net income being about $41,000. Here's just a look at your balance sheet items. Your assets, liabilities, and equity. It's just like you would like to see your assets and equity rising with your liabilities decreasing over time. In the third year, our assets are going to be about $104,000 we expect, with equity about $50,600. Just to better look at some of what's going on in the company, we're going to look at some ratios real quick. Some of the liquidity ratios, which are the ability to pay off your financial obligations as they come due within the next year. As you can see, we're in a very liquid position. Got a lot of ability to pay off our loans. You got your current ratio in the black and your asset test ratio in the red. As you can see, they're pretty much the same, well above what you'd like to see. Not a whole lot of inventory, that's why they're relatively the same numbers. Your activity ratios, how well we manage our assets. Your black is your fixed asset turnover, and then your total asset turnover down in black. Year 3, 18.9 for the fixed asset and 1.7 for the total asset. Debt to equity, how much you owe per dollar of equity in the company. First year we're about 8.6, really high compared. You got a lot of liabilities in there, and then down in the last year we're at about 1.06. Gross profit margin, how well we're managing it, our sales and expenses. Relatively stable, decreasing over time, about 0.9 for all 3 years. Operating profit margin just shows what your margins are with your expenses and your sales. Varies over the years. 2014 we had a good year, but in 2015 if you look for that to decrease, that has to do with like acquiring a building in 2014 with more employees. You got a lot more costs coming up as you expand your business. As far as that is everything I have to present. I would be happy to field any questions or clarify anything that is needed about Red Willow Pest Management. Thank you.